Hello and welcome to the Three Techs. Last show, we did a blind listening test of 10 different microphones. I kept Bob and Steven here hanging on which microphone I was actually using here for that show. I didn't reveal it. So in this show, we're going to talk about the microphones we listened to last time and reveal what microphone I used. If you haven't listened to the blind listening test in the last show and you want to, stop here. Don't watch the rest of the show because you're going to get some spoilers. So go ahead, click the link, and watch our previous show, and then come back here and we'll talk about those mics some more. Okay. It's been a couple weeks since you guys listened to those microphones, and I wanted to get your second opinion on what you heard. Bob, what did you think the second time around?
Well, what was interesting is, so I used a local digital analog converter, so everything's high res, really good sounding equipment here, and the mic sounded better, so much better on that setup than it did coming through the internet. So all of them sounded better. And I have some comments on a couple of individual mics if you'd like, but it was more representative of what I wanted to hear, I guess. It sounded better.
I have the microphones that we looked at last week up on the screen here, A through J. Last week, Bob, I think you picked F as your favorite microphone of the bunch, although we weren't really trying to pick the best microphone.
It's just favorite.
So tell me the second time around. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second time around, what did you think of the different mics? Did you have a new favorite?
A new favorite is D, the Manley reference. Absolutely. It is. I just love the way that mic sounds after listening to it again.
I really like how that mic sounds as well, especially for my voice. That's why I pick it, and I actually use that mic for doing some voiceovers on the show. So that's the mic that you're hearing when you hear those voiceovers.
Okay. I was kind of deriding C, and when I listen to your voice now, I get that interviewing type sound that comes out of it. It's better than I thought it was in the way I heard it before. So something in the system just wasn't cutting it for me. And now I understand why they use it. It's a very clear microphone. So it gets that vocal range better than I thought it did. Sorry, sure, it's okay.
What else? Did your opinion change about any other mics? I know, was it A that you thought sounded too thin or something?
Yeah, I just don't like your voice on A. I know it's a good microphone, but I don't like your voice on A. And of course, I is still awful. H comes up more. All of them, they rose up as I was listening, except for I. And H sounded a lot better than I thought it did before. I would put it as third, but probably D, F, and H are my favorites with your voice.
Of course, everybody's voice is different, so don't make a purchasing decision on this video alone. How about you, Steven? Did you have any second opinions?
So I didn't get a chance to re-listen, but I was kind of thinking about it, and I've got an odd sort of kind of compliment and insult at the same time, which is I think a microphone should be characterless. I think characterless is good, so that it's just neutral, and you just hear the voice and you don't hear the character of the microphone. I kind of smile. I'm glad it was a blind test because I did kind of pick the H, the Shure that I happen to have and I'm using now. So I'm going to stick with my pick, and I'm going to stick with my combination insult and compliment and say that it's characterless, which is, I think, really good. That it's neutral. You just hear the voice.
I think that's fair. I think other people might have different opinions about that microphone, about how it sounds, but I think it's good to know that your preference, for yourself at least, is that you like to hear microphones that are fairly neutral, flat, and transparent, and don't color or hype the voice or the sound in any way. So we had 10 microphones last week, and I didn't tell you what microphone I'm using down here. Do you have any thoughts or opinions about that after 2 weeks' time?
I'm not using a nicer earpiece tonight. I'm just using a really inexpensive one, so I can't hear you as well as I normally would. I don't know what you were using, and tonight I can't even guess. We're gonna have to trust that you're telling us the real thing, Tony.
Okay. How about you, Steven? What do you think?
I'm going to stick with my choice. I mean, it may be dumb. It may just be simple and the line of least resistance. But I think your voice sounds good. It sounds natural. So I'll stick with H.
Okay. And just as a reminder, last week we were using the Rupert Neve Portico 2 channel as the preamplifier, but tonight and for the show, when I was talking to camera, I was not using that preamplifier. So this is one of the 10 mics that I was using and testing in the show last time, but I'm using the Shure X2U audio interface. So that's a XLR to USB interface.
Oh, okay. The little one that I've got. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty simple interface, but it works for getting an XLR microphone into your computer as a USB audio signal.
I used that for the longest time. That was my standard interface till I got the Rodecaster.
Should we reveal the microphone now?
Yep. I
Yes,
assume
please.
you'll insert the drum roll as you cunningly did last time.
Right. Okay, well, here's the microphone.
Truly a reveal.
Can you see it?
Is that the Rode? The pod?
No, that's A.
The Earthworks, the
Okay.
Yeah.
A microphone. Steven, you thought it was the SM7B. What did you think it was, Bob?
I thought it was something else,
You
but I don't
recall.
remember. But now I got to change headphones here. I got to listen closer.
Bob's bringing out the big guns. He's putting on his good headphones.
I thought last time you thought it was the Neumann or the Neumann, however you say that,
Neumann, yeah.
as in John von Neumann.
All right, now I got some headphones on here that sound a whole lot better. All right, talk to me, Tony.
That's okay. All right. So this is the Earthworks SV33. It is a quote-unquote large diaphragm vocal microphone. It's a large diaphragm for Earthworks standards because they typically produce small diaphragm condenser microphones that are known to be relatively flat and transparent. And this is one of the first larger diaphragm vocal mics that they've produced.
Uh-huh.
It tends not to have as a pronounced proximity effect. So if I move closer to the microphone, so right now I'm about 1 inch away, and then I move back to 3 inches, and then I move back to about 6 inches there. What do you think of the sound there, Bob?
Between 3 and 6, it's very even. That's really nice.
So one of the things that this Earthworks SV33 microphone is known for, it's known to be very even when you're off axis, even up to about 45 degrees. So if I'm 45 degrees here, you can hear how it sounds, and then I'll continue talking as I move on axis, and then I'll continue talking as I move over to the other side of the microphone at about 45 degrees. So hopefully you're not hearing too much shift as far as the tonal character of the microphone as I moved across.
You just got a little bit closer, I think, on the one side. But man, that's even as it goes around. That's really good.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And back to the distance thing, yeah, the 1 inch was rather ugly, but the 3 to 6 inches between them, they were very consistently the same.
Yeah.
And there's no windscreen, like foam windscreen on the outside of this microphone. Here, I'll put it back up into view so you can kind of see. There's no foam windscreen like there is on the Shure SM7B, but there is a tight mesh built into it. It prevents a lot of those plosives. If I do like a Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, hopefully you're not hearing
Nothing.
a lot of pops there. And also, because you can get a much more even pickup pattern when you're off axis, you can try to talk over the microphone a bit so those plosives aren't going directly into it.
And how much is that microphone?
This microphone lists for about $2,400 or $2,399.
Yeah. That's a pretty impressive piece of kit.
And it's a condenser microphone, so it doesn't require a preamp with a ton of gain like you might with the Shure SM7B. So you do need 48 volt phantom power, but you get a nice clean signal out of it.
I think we proved something, though, when we did this. And we proved that you don't have to go crazy. The SM7B that Steven uses and Tony, you also use on, is a fabulous sounding microphone. The pod mic, it fits in there too. You don't have to spend $2,300 on a microphone, but please spend something more than $78.
Meaning microphone
Meaning
I.
microphone I, if you can call it a microphone. Yes.
Right. Well, that's interesting because that's the only lavalier microphone that we compared in this blind test. I think that lavaliers in general might have a totally different kind of tonal response than some of these others, that especially a lot of these are large diaphragm microphones, so it might not be fair to compare it.
No,
like
it's
that.
like when I was using that little $15 pile mic when we were shooting a few weeks ago. For $15, that's pretty amazing. This is better, but anyway, you don't have to go crazy, but audio interfaces and a little better microphone, and your listeners will be happier with you.
All right. Well, now you know which microphone I was using. It was the Earthworks SV33. Let us know if you guessed correctly or what you think about this particular microphone and what you think about the other microphones that we had in this blind listening test in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time on the 3 Techs.
Smile with Pyle. Feel more manly with Manly.
Cut.
Right.
Be sure with Sure.
Cut that out.